That don't kill me, can only make me stronger. I need you to hurry up now, 'cause I can't wait much longer. I know I got to be right now, 'cause I can't take much longer. Man, I've been waiting all night now, that's how long I've been on ya.
Happy weekend, everyone, and welcome to today's telecast of Cass Baseball for 2013, sponsored by Pepsi and the Liberty Tax Service here on Play on Sports. Tonight, the Colonels will be on the road, traveling to Rockmart, Georgia, to take on the Rockmart Yellow Jackets in a non-region contest for both clubs. The Colonels, who opened the season with 3 straight victories, have now dropped 4 in a row and will be looking to get back on the winning track tonight here in Rockmart as they take on the Yellow Jackets. We're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we will be talking about tonight's contest and the matchup between these two teams. We'll be back right after these.
Con los terroristas.
Harlem Shake.
Okay, we welcome you back to Rockmart High School, where tonight the Colonels will be taking on the Rockmart Yellow Jackets. Colonels coming in, as we mentioned, with a 3-4 record on the season, and the Yellow Jackets come in here with a 2-3 mark. They lost to Bremen, split with Cedartown, their county rival, winning one game 9-0, losing the other by a score of 7-1, and they also split with Adairsville in a pair of 9-8 games, each team winning one time by identical 9-8 final scores. So the Colonels won their first 3, lost their next 4. Rockmart 2-3 on the year as we get ready for tonight's action. Let's take a quick look at how the Colonels will line up tonight offensively, taking a look at their batting order and a little bit about tonight's game. Brandon Etheridge will lead it off for the Colonels in center field. As you see there, he is hitting .381 and has scored 8 runs on the season. Sam Ayers hits in the 2 spot and will play shortstop. You see his average there, and he has 5 RBI on the season. Chaz Wilson will be on the mound tonight, pitching and batting third. He's at a .667 clip through the first 7 games. And you see those other statistical matters that are listed there beside his name. Dylan Williams hits in the cleanup spot. He'll play first base. Batting 5th will be Alex Yoslin. He'll be out in left field. Batting in the 6th spot will be the catcher Sam Russell. Hunter Southern will start at third base tonight and bat 7th. Austin Gore will hit in the 8th spot. Matt Brown will be playing second base, but Austin Gore will be the designated hitter for him in that spot. And then Chris Morton will be out in right field and batting ninth for Coach Adam Williams, Cass Colonels. Let's try to take a look at how the home team will line up defensively. We'll look at their batting order once they come in at the second, the bottom half of the first inning. The Jackets across the outfield will go with Will Deems, Tritt Fennell, Marquise Smith. Around the infield, Chet Miller at third, Alex Baldwin at short, Dalton Gowans at second. Luke Hembry will play first base. Hayden Graham will be behind the plate, and Cole Halsey will be on the mound for the Yellow Jackets. Defensive look for the Colonels. We'll get their defensive lineup up on the screen. There it is. Out in left field, Alex Yoslin. Brandon Etheridge will roam center field. Chris Morton will be in right. Around the infield, Hunter Southern at third. Sam Ayers at short. Matt Brown will be at second base. Dylan Williams over at first. Sam Russell will be behind the dish. And on the bump tonight for the Colonels will be Chaz Wilson. We'll take another timeout, and we'll be back with more about tonight's game right after this.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love was made for me and you.
Okay, back at Rockmart High School where the Cass Colonels are getting ready to take on the Rockmart Yellow Jackets. Rockmart has taken the field, and Hulsey's out there taking a few warm-up tosses. Before we start, we'll take a quick glance at the region standings. Of course, no one has started playing region games yet, but you see in 7 Quad A South, Pickens is off to a 2-0 start. They are playing today against Ridgeland, and Saturday they have a couple of games against Cedar Bluff, Alabama, and Etowah, Alabama, over in Alabama. Cedartown is at a 4-2 mark right now in the Cass subregion. They're at home to Douglas County. They've split with this Rockmart team, as we mentioned earlier, and they have another Cass common opponent in Pepperell that they lost to 11-1. Gilmer's at 2-2. They're playing North Murray on Saturday. River Ridge is at 0-5 in the South subregion, but don't let that fool you. They have losses to 6A opponents, Woodstock and Kennesaw Mountain, 5 Class 5A opponents, Sequoia and Creekview, and to AA Perennial Power Calhoun. They're playing Tucker today, most likely today, and Etowah on from Cherokee County on Saturday. And of course, there at the bottom of the screen, you see the standings on the north half of this subregion as well. We are just about set for action. And it looks like Brandon Etheridge is making his way to the plate. So we are just about ready to go here from Rockmart High School. As Etheridge steps in. And the first pitch misses low for a ball. Next pitch is a strike. And we have a little bit of a hum going here at our site, and I'm working on that, so bear with us if you're picking that up at home. We'll try to do our best to get that cleaned up for you. Next pitch is low as well for a ball. And the count goes to 2-1. Etheridge stands in and almost started to swing, but takes it over the inside corner for a called strike 2. So Halsey has evened the count at 2-2 as Etheridge stands in. The wind and the delivery, missed down and in. So the count has run full. A good at bat for Brandon Etheridge leading off here in the top of the first as we're just underway from Rockmart High School. Cass traveling over to Rockmart to take on the Yellow Jackets today. Next pitch is lined towards center field, and it's going to be in there for a hit. So a solid line drive single by Etheridge right back up the middle, and that will bring up the shortstop, Sam Ayers. Ayers hitting .350 on the young season. Takes the first pitch up and away for a ball. Left-handed Halsey working from the stretch. Throws a fastball that missed low. And Sam Ayers is ahead in the count 2-0. The ball gets away from the pitcher briefly. No damage there as Etheridge continues to stand at first. Etheridge reached on a line drive single to start the game. Sam Ayers, the number 2 hitter for the Colonels, with a 2-0 count. Throw back over to first. Etheridge was leaning just a little bit, but he's back safely. Ayers steps back in there to face the 2-0 pitch from Halsey, and it's a swing and a miss. Cole Halsey, a senior, looks in for his sign as Etheridge leads from first. And the 2-1 pitch missed low downstairs, ball 3. Chaz Wilson, who will be pitching in this one, waits on deck. The 3-1 pitch is foul tipped into the glove of the catcher Graham, and the count is now 3-2. So a 3-2 pitch coming up to Sam Ayers. We'll see what Coach Adam Williams does with his runner here as Etheridge takes an average lead down at first. Halsey throws to the plate, and it's fouled over the first base dugout.
Look for yours right here now. Come on, you do it.
Etheridge was not running on the pitch.
right here. Looking for yours.
So Ayers steps back in to face another 3-2 pitch from Cole Halsey. Etheridge with his lead down at first. The left-hander looks at him. Etheridge is off on the pitch, and it's high for a ball. And there's ball 4. They throw through anyway, but it is a walk. And Etheridge will advance to second with Ayers moving over to first. And that brings up the senior pitcher, Chaz Wilson.
Come on, Chaz. Stay hot right here, 1-1.
14 for 21 on the season so far with 10 RBI. And now 2 runners on and nobody out, facing the Rockmart senior, Cole Halsey. First pitch to Wilson is low in the dirt
Way to leave it. Way to leave it. Good job.
for ball number 1. Glad you could join us for Cass Baseball 2013, presented by Pepsi and our new sponsor tonight, Liberty Tax Service. We are very thankful for our sponsors for these telecasts. Halsey comes set and delivers a 1-0 pitch that sailed high and away, and the count is now 2-0. Our next 2 telecasts will be a home-and-home series with Adairsville that takes place next Monday and Wednesday. 2-0 pitch to Wilson. Bounced up there again, and it's 3-0. So, again, we'll see what Coach Adam Williams wants to do here on the 3-0 pitch, since Halsey has struggled a bit. Most likely a take sign at this point, but we will see. Etheridge takes his lead from second, Ayers from first, and the pitch missed low downstairs for ball 4. And the bases are now loaded for the senior first baseman, Dylan Williams. Williams 3 for 14 on the year at this point, with a .400 on-base percentage. And we have a visit to the mound by the Rockmart coaching staff. Black is inserted, Caleb Black is inserted as a courtesy runner down at first base for the pitcher Wilson. And we're just about ready for the cleanup hitter Dylan Williams to step in there with the bases full and nobody out. Yoslin and Russell will be the next 2 hitters. Cass looking to snap a 4-game losing skid after winning their first 3 to start the 2013 campaign. Halsey's first pitch is up and away. So a 1-0 pitch now with the bases full is fouled straight back off the screen. So a single to start the game by Brandon Etheridge and a pair of walks to Sam Ayers and Chaz Wilson. Caleb Black inserted as the courtesy runner down at first, and the bases are jammed with nobody out and Williams at the plate. And he takes the ball high. And the count now to Williams is 2-1. So Cole Halsey struggling a bit here in the top of the first. Having a hard time finding the strike zone. But he throws that one right through there, and Dylan Williams missed it for strike number 2. So now a 2-2 offering is hit up in the air, but foul over the first base side. So the count remains 2-2 with the bases full of Colonels. We're in the top of the first from Rockmart High School. Cass taking on the Yellow Jackets. Only 3 more, including this one, only 3 more non-region games before we start the 7 Quad A schedule. Next pitch to Williams is hit in the air to right field. Should be deep enough to score the runner. The ball is caught out there in right field. The runners tag, and everybody moves up a base. And the ball gets away at home plate. Ayers is going to try to score, and he's in there. So an alert play by Sam Ayers to really take a run there as the ball got away. It'll be a sacrifice fly to right and an RBI for Williams. And then 2 runs scored, one on the sacrifice fly and the other on the throwing error that got past everyone back here behind home plate. So a sac fly to Smith out in right field scores Etheridge, and then Ayers scores on the error on the throw that just got by everybody. First pitch to Yoslin is hit out into right center field. The 2 outfielders come together out there, and the center fielder, Fennell, made an excellent running catch. A really nice play. First pitch is a fly ball out to Yoslin, but the runner did move up to third. So Black stands at third after tagging up on the fly out, and the Colonels have 2 outs now in the inning, and Sam Russell's at the plate. Runner at third and 2 down. First pitch sails high for a ball. So Cass has jumped out to a 2-0 lead. They loaded the bases with no one out and have plated a pair of runs on a sacrifice fly and then a alert base running play by Sam Ayers and a throwing error from the outfield. Next pitch is in there for a strike. So the count is even at 1-1. Next pitch is a changeup, swung on and missed. So Caleb Black takes his lead from third, 2 down in the inning, and Sam Russell at the plate. And the ball is bounced up there. The catcher, Graham, keeps it in front of himself. So the count goes to 2-2. Russell with 4 hits on the year. He has 3 RBI. And he just ripped it past the third baseman for another hit. So that's a big 2-out run right there for the Colonels as Russell drives in Caleb Black, who was in there running for Chaz Wilson. And now we'll get another courtesy runner for the Cass catcher. It will be Kelly. Running down at first base for the catcher, Russell. And that brings up Hunter Southern. Southern with a pair of hits on the year. He scored a couple of runs. He's reached a couple of times on errors. And the first pitch to Hunter Southern is a called strike. Austin Gore, the designated hitter, waits on deck. He would be followed by Chris Morton, who's hitting tonight in the 9 spot. Cole Halsey comes set and bounced it up there. It got away from the catcher. And Kelly will move up on the pitch. So that one bounced up there. We'll call that a wild pitch. Catcher unable to keep it in front. And now with Kelly at second, Southern steps back in there. And the 1-1 pitch missed high. Hulsey set again and throws it a strike at the knees that's hit back to the pitcher. And Southern is retired, pitcher to first. So that will retire the Colonels in the first inning, but not until they scored 3 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 error. They left 1 man. We've now played a half inning from Rockmart, Georgia, and our score at Rockmart High School, the Colonels 3 and the Rockmart Yellow Jackets coming to bat.
Con los terroristas.
And do the Harlem Shake.
So the Colonels with a couple of hits in the inning. There was 1 Rockmart error. And they have taken a 3-0 lead here as we get ready to go to the bottom half of the first. On the mound tonight for the Colonels will be Chaz Wilson. He is 1-1 on the season. He had a win over Langston Hughes and a loss to Woodland most recently. He has 9 1/3 innings pitched on the year with a win and a loss, as we mentioned. His ERA is at 0.75, 8 strikeouts on the year, 3 walks. He's only allowed 4 runs. 1 of those was earned. So Chaz Wilson will be on the mound in this one for the Colonels. As we look around the infield, it will be Williams at first, Brown at second, Ayers at short, Southern at third, Yoslin's in left field, Etheridge in center, and Morton out in right with Sam Russell behind the plate. And as we mentioned, Wilson on the mound. First batter up for Rockmart will be Tritt Fennell, who made a nice play out there in center field, and Chaz Wilson throws the first pitch through there for a strike. Next pitch from Wilson is fouled straight back off the screen, and quickly he is ahead 0-2. So an 0-2 pitch from Wilson right through there for a swing and a miss, strike number 3. And there's the first out of the bottom of the first. First pitch from Wilson sailed high for a ball. This is Alex Baldwin playing shortstop for the Yellow Jackets. Next pitch is a fastball strike. So Wilson takes a deep breath and steps back on the rubber and prepares to deliver. Another strike right through there. So the Cass senior on the mound, up 1-2 now. And that one got away high for a ball, and the count is now even at 2-2. Two-two curveball from Wilson had him swinging, and there is the second strikeout of the inning. So quickly 2 are out, and that brings up Caden Smith, the designated hitter. First pitch is a fastball over the inside edge, for a swing and a miss. Another swing and a miss at a high inside fastball. So Wilson's ahead 0-2. And there is strike number 3. So Wilson strikes out the side. No runs, no hits, no errors on 11 pitches in the bottom of the first. And we've now played one with the Colonels leading Rockmart by a score of 3-0. Okay, we're back at Rockmart High School where the Colonels are leading the Rockmart Yellow Jackets by a score of 3-0. The Colonels loaded the bases in their half of the first inning. Ended up coming out with a couple of hits, a leadoff single by Etheridge and an RBI single from Sam Russell. They plated 3 runs in the inning, and they lead it after 1 inning by a score of 3-0. Coming up for the Colonels in the top of the second, the Colonels will send designated hitter Austin Gore, right fielder Chris Morton, and then back to the top of the order with Brandon Etheridge to the plate. So Gore steps in to lead off the top of the second for the Colonels, and the first pitch bounces up there for a ball. Another one bounced up there. 2 balls, no strikes, as the Cass senior designated hitter steps back in. Hitting in the 8th spot and batting for Matt Brown, who's fielding at second base tonight. Pitch from Halsey is high for ball 3. And quickly Gore is up 3-0, leading off here in the top of the second. The 3-0 pitch is a called strike over the outside corner. So Gore steps back in there to face a 3-1 pitch. Swings on and fouls it over the right side dugout. So Halsey has battled his way back to a full count, facing Gore. Left-handed senior will wind, and he throws a strike at the knees, called strike 3, and Gore is retired. So that brings up the number 9 hitter, the sophomore right fielder, Chris Morton. First pitch to the Colonel outfielder is a strike at the knees. Chris Morton with a .211 mark on the early season. He's walked 5 times. He has 4 singles and a double on the year. Next pitch hits him on the leg, so he will reach on a hit by pitch. And that gets us to the top of the order and junior center fielder Brandon Etheridge. So Chris Morton's on with one out down at first after being hit by that pitch, and that brings up the left-handed hitting Brandon Etheridge. He singled to start this game off. Throw over to first, chases back Morton. So Hulsey looks in for his sign, and Etheridge hits a ground ball right to the first baseman. Morton, moving on the pitch, reaches safely at second, but now there are two outs. So on the first pitch, Etheridge grounds out to the first baseman. But it does advance Morton down to second. With two outs, Sam Ayers will have a runner in scoring position. First pitch is fouled off at the plate. Ayers walked in the top of the first inning and then was on second when Dylan Williams hit a sacrifice fly that scored Etheridge from third, and then Ayers alertly took home, scoring the Colonel's second run when the throw from the outfield back to the infield got away from everyone. Ayers was able to beat it to the plate. And he just hit a shot into center field, way back there. The center fielder gets underneath it, though, and Fennell makes the catch. A nice play again out there for out number 3. So that ball was well hit and deep, but Fennell's able to run underneath it, and the Colonels are retired here in the top of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors. There was one man left. We've now played an inning and a half, and the Colonels lead the Yellow Jackets 3-0.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love was made for me and you.
And they say yeah, and they say yeah.
Okay, we're back at Rockmart High School as we move to the bottom half of the second inning. Chaz Wilson taking a few warm-up tosses. He struck out the side in the first inning. This half inning, he'll face the first baseman Hembry, the catcher Graham, and the second baseman Gowans for Rockmart. Cass leading it 3-0 as Rockmart bats here in the bottom of the second. And number 4, Luke Hembry, steps in for the Jackets. First pitch from Wilson is right through there for called strike 1. Wilson from the windup misses low for a ball. So a 1-1 pitch coming up. Just missed outside for ball number 2. Colonels in here with a 3-4 mark on the year. They won their first 3 in a row and then have now dropped 4 in a row. And that pitch missed high. So for the first time in this game, Wilson behind on a hitter, and the count has gone to 3-1. So a 3-1 pitch due to the Rockmart first baseman is a called strike right through there. And the count goes full. Glad you could join us for Cass Baseball presented by Pepsi. As Wilson throws a breaking pitch in there that's fouled off. So we'll try the 3-2 pitch one more time. Cass facing Rockmart this evening. They will play a home-and-home series with Adairsville next Monday and Wednesday, as that pitch from Wilson missed low for a ball 4, and Hembry is on at first base with the Yellow Jackets' first base runner of the evening. That brings up the catcher Hayden Graham, wearing number 8. Rockmart in their all white, Cass wearing white pants with blue piping and blue jerseys. And the first pitch from Wilson, they say hit him. So it must have nipped the jersey there. And all of a sudden, Rockmart has a little something going, and it looks like we'll get a courtesy runner for the catcher. We'll try to grab that number as he goes by. It is number 13. That is Myers. So Myers will be the courtesy runner down at first. Hembry stands at second. There's nobody out in the inning. A walk and a hit batsman. And Dalton Gowans is at the plate, the second baseman for the Yellow Jackets, as Wilson works from the stretch.
Oh boy, good job, good job.
And the breaking pitch is swung on and missed. Wilson again from the stretch, this time missed low for a ball. So Wilson takes a deep breath, comes to his set, and there's a ground ball out towards short. Slow roller fielded by Ayers. He throws a little bit high, but Dylan Williams is very tall, so he makes that play easily for out number 1, but the runners do move up a base. So on the slow roller out to short, Ayers retires the batter runner, but Myers and Hembry move up 90 feet, so runners at second and third now with 1 out as Will Deems steps in. And the curveball stayed high for ball number 1. Deems wearing number 19. He's playing left field for the Jackets, who are threatening here in the bottom of the second. Fastball is right through there for a strike at the knees.
Oh boy, good job. One.
Deems hitting in the 7 spot. And another fastball and a swing and a miss by Deems. And the count is at 1-2. So Wilson from the stretch comes set. And that pitch is fouled back off the mask of our home plate umpire, and it knocked his mask off. So Cass catcher Sam Russell will do the courteous deed and go out and talk to his pitcher for just a moment to give the umpire a second to recover. As the Colonels display a little baseball etiquette there. And now Wilson will toe the rubber for the 1-2 pitch. And it's a curveball that just missed down and away. So we're even at 2-2. Good idea there, but it just missed away. So a 2-2 offering coming up to Will Deems. And it's a fastball right through there at the knees for called strike number 3. And there are now 2 outs in the inning. That brings up Chet Miller, the third baseman, left-handed hitter. Wilson throws it right through there, but they say it missed high for ball number 1. He's mixed in a few curveballs, but it's been mostly the hard stuff through the first 2 innings. And there's one at the knees.
Good job, Chaz.
And the count has gone even at 1-1. We're at Rockmart High School in Rockmart, Georgia. The Colonels leading the Yellow Jackets 3-0 as Rockmart bats in the bottom half of the second.
Nice.
Breaking
nice.
pitch there is in there for a strike. So Wilson from the stretch with runners at second and third comes set, and his 1-2 pitch is a curveball that was hit down toward third, and I'm not sure if his bat didn't hit the catcher's mitt there. I thought it hit the catcher's mitt, and that would be a dead ball. But nonetheless, the ball was not fielded down at third, and the runner reached and a runner scored. So the next, let's get this scored. It's going to be an error down at third, allowing the run to score and Miller to reach it first. And now they're saying it's a 2-0 count to Marquis Smith, the right fielder. From our vantage point, it looked like the bat hit the catcher's mitt, which would have been a dead ball, and the base is loaded now. But instead, a run is in, and there was an error down at third. Next pitch from Wilson missed high for a ball.
Okay, Chaz, come back right here, buddy. Come on, you do it.
So the count goes to 3-0. Rockmart has plated a run here to narrow the margin to 2. Runners still on the corners, 2 outs in the inning, and now a 3-0 pitch to the number 9 hitter, Marquis Smith. Fastball right through there for a called strike. So Miller leads from first, Myers from third, and a 3-1 pitch upcoming from Wilson is swung on and missed. So now a full count. The runner from first will probably be moving, or at least should be, as Wilson comes set, throws back over to first to Dylan Williams as they try to catch Miller, maybe leaving a little bit early, but he gets back in safely. And the 3-2 pitch now will come to Smith, and it's low for ball 4, but just barely low. And now the bases are loaded. So that will lead us to a visit to the mound by the Cass pitching coach, Kyle Clayton, as he wants to talk things over with his senior pitcher, Chaz Wilson. Rockmart has loaded the bases here and plated a run already in the inning, but there are 2 outs. But we are back to the top of the order. And Trent Fennell he struck out swinging his first time up. So now bases full of Yellow Jackets. Fennell, the senior, steps in. The first pitch gets away at home plate from the catcher Russell, and a run is going to score. So everyone moves up a base. And now Rockmart with 2 more runners in scoring position. And now only down 3-2. Next pitch is high for a ball. So an inning that started pretty effectively for Wilson, now he's having a bit of a struggle. Two-0 pitch. Must have missed outside. It was letter high, or I should say belt high, but must have been off the plate. So the next pitch misses high for ball 4. And the bases are loaded again. For the number 2 hitter in the order, Alex Baldwin. Baldwin also struck out his first time up. Wilson turns as though to pick off the runner down at second, but nothing's going on there. Just a bluff. And Baldwin steps back in to face Wilson. And the first pitch is swung on and missed. A 0-1 pitch from Wilson. Knee high, but must again have been outside. Wilson working from the stretch. High fastball that swung on and missed. So Baldwin unable to catch up with the fastball on that one. Steps back in there, and the 1-2 delivery from Wilson is hit in the air out toward right field, fairly deep. Right fielder going back, that's Chris Morton. He makes the catch, and the Colonels are finally out of what became a difficult inning. So Rockmart comes up with 2 runs. There were no hits in the inning. There was an error. They plate 2 runs, and they've narrowed the Cass lead to 3-2 as we move to the top of the 3rd.
Con los terroristas.
They do the Harlem Shake.
Okay, back at Rockmart High School, as Cole Halsey, the Rockmart left-handed pitcher, taking his warm-up tosses before we begin the top of the 3rd. He'll face Chaz Wilson, Dylan Williams, and Alex Yoslin here in the top of the 3rd. Rockmart has narrowed the gap to 3-2 without benefit of a hit in that inning. There was an error, a hit batsman, and a couple of walks that cost the Colonels those 2 runs. One of those runs coming in on the batted error, the other one on a wild pitch that got away, wild pitch or a pass ball, hard to tell there, but did get away at the plate and a run scored. So now the pitcher Wilson will step in as we begin the top of the 3rd. First pitch to the Cass pitching counterpart is fouled back over the screen. Wilson walked his first time up. Steps back in there. And a fastball is low and away. So the count is at 1-1 as the Cass senior steps back in there. And that one's low as well. So the count's at 2-1. Glad you could join us for Cass Baseball, presented by Pepsi And we also welcome a new sponsor tonight, Liberty Tax Service. Next pitch to Wilson is called a strike at the knees. So the count goes to 2-2. Two-two pitch bounced up there, and the count is now full as the Colonels bat here in the top of the third. First hitter of the inning, Chaz Wilson, hitting in the 3 position tonight and on the mound for the Colonels. Dylan Williams waits on deck. Three-two pitch is hit on the ground out towards second base. Fielded out there and throws over to first. Goins to Hembry for out number 1. So Dylan Williams, the first baseman, steps in. His first time up, he hit a sacrifice fly out to right field that ultimately led to 2 runs. One on the tag up from third and the runner scoring on the sacrifice fly, and then the second on an alert play by Sam Ayers, who kept coming when he saw the throw get away from the outfielder as it was returned back into home plate. It was the Colonels' first 2 runs of the game. Williams fouls off a high changeup over the right side, and he is now behind in the count 0-2. Oh-2 pitch from Halsey. Williams lines it into right field. That's in for a hit. So Dylan Williams lines one over into right field, right over the first baseman's head for a single. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Alex Yoslin, with 1 out here in the inning. Williams takes his lead down at first, and the first pitch to Yoslin sails high for a ball. Sam Russell, the catcher, waits on deck. Cole Halsey, the senior pitcher and left-handed pitcher at that, comes set and throws over to Chase Williams back to first, but he's back easily. Halsey's walked 2 and given up 2 hits. Working from the stretch to Yoslin, who lines it into center field, but it looks like it's right at the center fielder, who catches it overhead. Williams will be chased all the way back to first, but makes it back safely. So a well-hit ball by Yoslin, a line drive that sails all the way out to center field, and Fennell makes the catch for out number 2. So that brings up the Cass catcher, Sam Russell, with Dylan Williams remaining at first. The Jacket southpaw throws a fastball that sailed high. Hunter Southern waits on deck, the Cass third baseman. Next pitch is low for a ball. So Williams takes his lead at first. Halsey working from the stretch, looks in for his sign, and delivers a fastball strike at the knees. Strike number 1, and the count goes to 2-1. 2-1 pitch is popped back over the screen. Williams was running on the pitch. He'll have to return to first. Cass with 3 runs in the top of the first. Rockmart answered with 2 runs of their own in the bottom of the second as Cass bats here in the top of the third. 2 outs in the inning and a runner at first. There's a line drive hit out toward right field. Marquise Smith is out there. He makes the catch, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. So the Colonels pick up a hit. They leave a runner. And after 2.5 innings of play, the Colonels lead Rockmart by a score of 3-2. Okay, we're back at Rockmart High School where the Colonels have taken the field again here for the bottom of the 3rd inning. They lead the Rockmart Yellow Jackets by a score of 3-2. Cass with 3 runs on 3 hits. They've committed an error. Rockmart 2 runs, no hits, 1 error. As they come to bat here in the bottom of the 3rd, they will send their 3, 4, and 5 hitters to the plate, Smith, Hembry, and Graham, to face Cass right-hander Chaz Wilson. So the designated hitter, Caden Smith, steps in there and fouls the first pitch back against the screen. Wilson struck out Smith the first time. Curveball bounced up there, but it really fooled Smith as he swings and misses. Curveball had a lot of bite on it. And quickly Wilson is ahead 0-2. So Rockmart plated 2 runs their last at bat without managing a hit. 0-2 delivery. Missed just outside as they flirt with the corner. And the count is now 1-2. Curveball again from Wilson. They're asking for help, and they say he did not swing. So the count is now even at 2-2 to Caden Smith, the designated hitter. Next pitch missed low, and the count has run full. Ground ball hit out toward third, fielded there by Southern. He throws across for out number 1. So 1 out in the inning. That brings up Luke Hembry, the first baseman. Hembry walked his first time up. Curveball is in there for a strike.
Nice one. Hey, way to start it off. Good job, Jack. 2.
Wilson missed low and inside. And the next one is lined into right field for the Yellow Jackets' first hit of the contest. So a sharp single, line drive into right field by Hembry, the cleanup hitter, is the first hit of the game for the Jackets. And with one out, that will bring up Hayden Graham, the catcher. So Wilson now again working from the stretch. First pitch is right through there for a strike over the outside corner.
Hey, make a play. There it is.
Another ground ball hit out towards Southern. He can't field it. Ayers comes up with it, throws across, and just missed, making a great play there. So that's an infield hit. A tough play and a tough situation there. Southern couldn't quite field it. It went under his glove. Ayers fielded it behind him, threw across, and on a bang-bang play, the batter was called safe. So it's the second hit of the game and the second hit of the inning for the Jackets. And they have a little something going. Runners at first and second and one out. First pitch missed high to Dalton Goins, the second baseman. Next one bounced up there from Wilson for ball number 2. Two-0 pitch, hit off the batter's foot for a foul ball. So the count will be at 2-1. Jackets' second baseman steps in there. And they say that one missed for a ball. So now the count at 3-1 with a couple of runners already on base, one out in the inning. Wilson working from the stretch. The ball's hit in the air out toward left field. Yoslin going back. He fields it, gets it back into the infield, and there are two outs in the inning. So two down now as Will Deems, the Jackets left fielder, will step in. Two outs in the inning, two runners on, runners at first and second. Deems struck out looking his first time. Curveball from Wilson is taken for a ball. That fastball is up and in. So the count's at 2-0. Two-0 pitch missed low. Miller, the third baseman, waits on deck for the Yellow Jackets. So Wilson will try to battle back from a 3-0 start. And the next pitch missed inside for ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
Hey, Chad, you're all right, buddy. Come on, you do it right, buddy.
So the third baseman, Chet Miller, will step to the plate with the bases loaded.
There it is.
And the first pitch to Miller is a swinging strike. Right fielder Smith, Marquise Smith, waits on deck. Next pitch is swung on and missed as well. So Wilson cruised through the bottom of the first, struggled a bit in the second, and now has loaded the bases again here in the third. And the 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed, so he gets out of that jam as well. So Rockmart does pick up a couple of hits that inning, but fails to score. So we will go to the top of the fourth with the Colonels leading Rockmart by a score of 3-2. Okay, back at Rockmart High School, Charles Wilson along with our cameraman Alec Berena, as the Colonels are leading it going to the top of the fourth by a score of 3-2. They have 3 hits. Rockmart with a couple of hits that last half inning, loaded the bases but failed to score. And the Colonels continue to lead it 3-2 and are in need of some runs here. They started quickly but have failed to score in each of their last 2 at-bats. They will send Hunter Southern, Austin Gore, and Chris Morton to the plate, 7, 8, and 9 hitters here in the fourth. First pitch to Southern misses low for a ball. Southern, who has had some starts at second base, getting his first start of the year at third base tonight. As Cass is facing the senior left-hander, Cole Halsey. And the next pitch is grounded out toward third, bobbled, and then he can't make the play. So an error down there by the third baseman. He fielded it, bobbled it, then couldn't pick it up the second time. And Southern will reach on the error. That brings up Austin Gore, the designated hitter, hitting in the 8th spot tonight, with Southern down at first. And the first pitch after Gore squared is taken for a ball. So Cole Halsey working from the stretch for the Jackets. Gore squares again, lays down a really good bunt that they say was picked up foul. Very close to being a fair ball there, just out in front of the plate. And I've got to tell you, I'm looking directly down the third base line. I'm not sure about that one. Really good bunt by Gore, but he'll have to try again. They throw over to first to chase back Southern. And now we'll see another 1-1 offering to the Cass DH. He squares again, takes a pitch that sailed high. And the count is now 2-1. Two-one pitch is bunted up toward first. The pitcher fields it, throws down to first to retire Gore, but it's a successful sacrifice bunt as Southern advances to second base. So the sacrifice bunt moves Southern up as Gore gives himself up there. And now with one out, the number 9 hitter, Chris Morton, will step in. He's playing right field tonight for the Colonels. And the first pitch is lined into center field. And they will hold Southern at third with the top of the order coming up. So a sharp line drive single into center field by Chris Morton, and now runners at the corners for Brandon Etheridge, the Colonels' junior center fielder. He'll step in with one out. Etheridge singled and grounded out in his first 2 at-bats. He steps in now with runners on the corners. And the first pitch is hit on the ground through the right side and into right field for a hit. Morton will try to reach third. Throw over there is late, and Brandon Etheridge alertly moves up to second on the throw. So a base hit by Etheridge plates a run. His single into right field drives in Southern. Morton moves up to third on the play, and then Etheridge alertly takes second when they tried to throw at Morton over at third. So the Colonels take a 4-2 lead, and Sam Ayers, the shortstop, steps in. He hits one high in the air out toward right center field. Fennell is under it and dropped it. It was a long run for Fennell, but he was there waiting underneath it, and when he reached up, he dropped it. So we'll score that as a sacrifice fly for Ayers. That would have scored Morton regardless. Etheridge moves up, but then Ayers makes it to second on the play. And Chaz Wilson steps in there. So Wilson, with a 1-1 count, steps back in there to face Hulsey with runners at second and third, and he hits a pop foul over the first base dugout. And with the Colonels now leading it 5-2, Wilson steps back in there with a couple of runners in scoring position, a chance to help himself here. Wilson has walked and grounded out. And he hits a line drive out towards center field that's in there for a hit. And it looks like it's going to score 2 runs, and it will, as Wilson takes a big turn at first, but will hold there. So a single by Wilson into center field drives in Etheridge and Ayers. And the Colonels have taken a 7-2 lead with Dylan Williams stepping to the plate. And the courtesy runner down at first, I believe, is Caleb Black again. And he takes off on the pitch and makes it in there safely with the steal. So a close play down there at second base, but Black is in there. And the Colonels have another runner in scoring position with 1 out. Next pitch to Williams is hit deep into left center field, way back there and off the wall. It bounces just short of the wall, on one hop, hits the screen, and that will score Caleb Black all the way around from second, and it's a double for Dylan Williams. So Cass has now taken an 8-2 lead as the left fielder Alex Yoslin steps in. And no bullpen activity for Rockmart. There's a hard ground ball hit out towards second. It will retire Yoslin as Goins throws on to Hembry, and Dylan Williams moves up to third on the play. So now 2 outs in the inning. Williams standing at third, and the Cass catcher, Sam Russell, will step in with 2 outs. And the first pitch to Russell is fouled straight back. For strike number 1. Glad you could join us. We're at Rockmart High School. The Colonels in a non-region baseball game taking on the Rockmart Yellow Jackets. They lead it 8-2 as they bat in the top of the 4th. Cass baseball presented by Pepsi. Next pitch to Russell, missed outside for a ball. And the 1-1 offering is also wide. So the count has now run to 2-1. And the next pitch from Hulsey was called a strike. Next pitch is lined hard into left field. That'll be another RBI single for the Cass catcher. So a good piece of hitting there. He got a high fastball that he drilled into left field, plating Dylan Williams with the Colonel's 9th run of the game. So another good piece of 2-out hitting by catcher Sam Russell. That's twice he's done that tonight. And Hunter Southern will step to the plate for the Colonels, with Russell taking his lead down at first. That's a courtesy runner down there for Russell. Again, that is Kelly. Next pitch misses high for a ball. So Matt Kelly's in there as the courtesy runner for the Cass catcher, Sam Russell. Southern swings through and misses. And he swings and misses again. So the count has gone to 1-2. There are 2 outs in the inning. The Colonels have plated 6 runs in this top half of the 4th to take a 9-2 lead. And a fastball about letter high is fouled back. So Hulsey will have to deliver another 1-2 pitch. Cass DH Austin Gore waits on deck. He would hit if Southern could reach. So Southern steps back in and fouls the next pitch back. So courtesy runner Matt Kelly takes his lead down at first. And the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike number 3. But the Colonels come up with 6 runs on 5 hits. There were a couple of errors, and Cass now leads the Rockmart Yellow Jackets after 3.5 innings by a score of 9-2.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love was made for me and you.
Okay, back at Rockmart High School, where Chaz Wilson is taking a few final warm-up tosses as we will move to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Cass now leading Rockmart by a score of 9-2. Rockmart at the 9 spot in their batting order will send Smith, then the top of the order, Fennell and Baldwin to the plate here in the bottom of the 4th. Marquis Smith steps in there. He walked his first time against Wilson. Squares, and Wilson fires a fastball that bounced up there low for ball number 1. So Smith steps back in there, and Wilson delivers a fastball that's hit sharply. Actually, that was a changeup that's hit foul, but hit hard. Foul into right field territory. Well over the first base line fence. The next pitch is lofted up into the air. Etheridge on the run, gets back there, turns, and then makes the catch. May have gotten fooled a little bit on that one, but recovered nicely to catch that fly ball for the first out of the bottom of the 4th rather. That brings up the top of the order and the center fielder, Trit Fennell. And the first pitch from Wilson is a breaking ball that missed low. Wilson's next offering is a fastball over the outside edge that's fouled back over the screen. And the count evens at 1-1. Next pitch to Fennell is a ball. So the count is now 2-1. Wilson thought he had that one. And that one he sails high for ball 3. So Rockmart center fielder steps back in there to see a 3-1 pitch from Wilson, and it misses wide for ball 4. And that will bring up the shortstop, Alex Baldwin, the number 2 hitter. Rockmart with 2 hits in the contest off Wilson. Both of those came in the 3rd inning. First pitch to Baldwin is fouled straight back. And the next one is hit on the ground, out towards second, could be 2. Flip to second, on to first, and there is the double play. So the 4-6-3 twin killing is just what Wilson needed to get out of that inning. So Rockmart fails to score. There was a walk in the inning, but the Jackets are retired in their half of the fourth inning. As we move to the fifth, the Colonels lead Rockmart 9-2. Okay, back at Rockmart High School where the Colonels will bat in the top half of the fifth inning. They lead it by a score of 9-2 in this non-region contest at Rockmart High School. As we mentioned, the Colonels won their 1 for 12 is the substitution. Okay, thank you. So that is the pitcher, Halsey. We'll get that sub made. So that is Cox. Devin Cox will come to the mound for the Yellow Jackets. But as we were saying before we received that substitution, the Colonels won their first 3 of the year and have since dropped 4 in a row. And they're looking to snap that 4-game losing streak here tonight in Rockmart. And also at the same time, even their season mark at 4-4. They have a home-and-home series coming up next week, next Monday and Wednesday, with county rival Adairsville. The first game will be at Cass on Monday, and the Wednesday game will be at Adairsville. We plan to televise both of those games here on Play on Sports, so we hope you'll join us for those games as well. Austin Gore, the designated hitter, steps to the plate for the Colonels here in the top of the fifth, and the first pitch is high for a ball. Devin Cox, right-handed pitcher for Rockmart. He is a junior, also an infielder when he's not pitching for the Jackets. His 2-0 pitch is right through there for a called strike. It looked like Gore was taking all the way. Cass with 3 runs in the first, 6 runs in the fourth. Rockmart scored their 2 runs without benefit of a hit in the second inning. They've since added a couple of hits off Wilson. And the Colonels lead it 9-2 as Cass bats here in the top of the fifth. Next pitch from Cox is hit on the ground out to short, and it went right through, split the wicket of the shortstop Baldwin. That will be an error. And again, the Colonels have a base runner. All right, Chris Morton will step in, the number 9 hitter for the Colonels, with a runner down at first. Gore taking his lead. And the first pitch to the Cass right fielder misses high for a ball. Morton, just a sophomore, had a good year on the football field as well. Steps in there to face a 1-0 pitch. from the junior right-handed pitcher, Devin Cox, and that's called a strike at the knees. So Chris Morton steps back in there, and Gore takes his lead down at first. Fastball swung on and missed. Good cut by Simo, as the kids refer to Morton. And now Cox will work from the stretch. Runner going, ball missed high, and Gore is able to steal second. So Gore steals second base on the play. The pitch missed high for a ball, and the count is at 2-2. Cox 2-2 delivery. Morton swings and misses for strike number 3. So there's one out now in the inning with Gore standing down at second, and the Colonels send Brandon Etheridge, their leadoff hitter and center fielder, to the plate. Cass batting in the top half of the 5th. They lead it 9-2 at Rockmart. First pitch missed high. Etheridge has singled twice. He grounded out once. So 2 for 3 in the contest. The left-handed hitter steps in there to face Cox and hit it hard into right field again. Coach Williams holds up Gore at third. Now the ball gets away again on a throw. They try to relay to the plate, but Gore slides in there safely. So a good single into right field by Etheridge. Then when the throw gets away on the relay in from home, Gore will score. That is an error on the relay throw, and Etheridge is able to move up a base on the same play. So now Etheridge stands in scoring position for Sam Ayers. Ayers has walked, flied out, and reached on an error. And this one he hits on the first pitch, a pop-up to the shortstop, and Baldwin is there to make the play for out number 2. So a little pop-out to the shortstop is the second out of the inning, and that will bring up the pitcher, Chaz Wilson. Wilson walked his first time up, grounded out to second in his second at bat, and then singled in his third at bat. And he fouls the first pitch right back at my feet over here on the right side screen. So Dylan Williams waits on deck. Chaz Wilson steps back in to see an 0-1 pitch from the junior right-hander, Devin Cox. Cox waits a long time, so Wilson asks for time and steps out. Long look in by Cox, and Wilson had had enough, so he asked for time. So now an 0-1 pitch upcoming, and it misses wide for a ball. So Cass has taken a 10-2 lead here as they bat in the top of the 5th. And a changeup is tipped into the glove of the catcher, Graham. So Wilson will step back in there and see a 1-2 pitch from Cox. Runner goes, and Wilson swings and misses for strike number 3, and that's the end of the inning. But the Colonels do pick up a run on a hit. There was an error in the inning that helped plate that run. And as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning, the Colonels lead the Yellow Jackets by a score of 10-2.
Con los terroristas.
And do the Harlem Shake.
Alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know, but no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality.
Okay, we're back at Rockmart High School with the Colonels leading the Rockmart Yellow Jackets by a score of 10-2. Rockmart, a couple of times tonight on balls to the outfield, have had trouble with the relay and getting it back even around home plate. Throws have sailed all the way back to the screen, and it's helped the Colonels add a couple of runs they might not otherwise have. But they have 10 runs on the night, and they lead it here by 8 runs as we move to the bottom half of the 5th. Chaz Wilson, who started this one, is still on the mound for the Colonels. As Rockmart will now send their 3, 4, and 5 hitters to the plate. The designated hitter, Smith, Hembry, the first baseman, and the catcher, Graham. So Chaz Wilson rocks and fires, and the first pitch is called low for a ball. Next pitch sailed high. The count's at 2-0. And the 2-0 offering is fouled straight back for strike number 1. Cass looking to even their season mark. They won their first 3, lost their next 4. They're looking to snap a losing streak and even their record at 4-4. The next pitch is fouled straight up in the air. Sam Russell chases it over near the Rockmart dugout, but it's out of play. And that will be strike number 2. Caden Smith, the designated hitter at the plate for Rockmart. He has struck out and grounded out in this one. Wilson's fastball missed high. So the count is full. And the 3-2 pitch is popped high in the air again. It looks like that will also be out of play. But no, it moves back in, drifts back in, and Hunter Southern makes the catch. So I spoke too soon. So the foul ball drifts back in over the screen over there near the Rockmart dugout, and Hunter Southern made a nice play for out number 1. That brings up Luke Hembry, the cleanup hitter and first baseman, and Wilson throws a fastball right by him. Hembry, a senior. He also does some pitching for the Jackets. Next pitch just missed inside. So Hembry steps back in to face a 1-1 pitch from Wilson, and he swings and misses. Looked late on that one, as Wilson's fastball was about knee-high over the outside corner. The next pitch is popped up, and it's over in that same area. Southern and the catcher Russell's over there, and Russell's got it at one step over leaning against the railing of the Rockmart dugout, and both of those outs have occurred in almost the same place, with the third baseman Southern catching one foul pop fly out, and now the catcher Sam Russell making the other play. So a couple of nice defensive plays helping Wilson here in the bottom of the fifth. And he has two outs in the inning. And the first pitch to the catcher, Graham, missed inside for a ball. Next pitch is fisted out toward the shortstop. Little soft line drive that is caught by Sam Ayers for out number 3. So Rockmart sends 3 men to the plate, 2 pop-ups, and a soft line out to short. No damage done there to the Colonels in the 5th inning. We've now completed 5 innings of play, and the Colonels lead Rockmart by a score of 10-2. Okay, we're back at Rockmart High School. Charles Wilson, along with our cameraman Alec Barena, upstairs, giving you the shots tonight. We're in Rockmart, Georgia, at Rockmart High School, where the Colonels bat in the top half of the 6th inning, leading it by a score of 10-2. Cass with 3 in the 1st, 6 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Rockmart scored their 2 runs in the 2nd inning. So Devin Cox on the mound for the Yellow Jackets. He came on last inning in relief. Dylan Williams will lead off the top of the 6th for the Colonels and takes a ball low. Cass will send Williams and Yoslin and Russell to the plate here in the top of the 6th. Glad you could join us from Rockmart High School. Cass Baseball presented by Pepsi. And the next pitch is fouled away. We want to thank Mr. Lionel Howell and Pepsi for sponsoring, being the anchor sponsor for each of these broadcasts. And we welcome a new sponsor tonight, Liberty Tax Service. We welcome them aboard and invite you to join us as well. For as little as $25 a month, you can join us as a sponsor of Cass Baseball on each of these broadcasts. We would be glad to talk to you about getting you involved in these internet broadcasts. 2-1 pitch upcoming to Dylan Williams. And he hits a hard ground ball out towards short, and he booted another one. So another error on the Rockmart shortstop. Big turn by Williams down at first, but he'll hold there. So he hit the ball hard on the ground, but the shortstop Baldwin for Rockmart can't come up with it cleanly. Hit his glove and bounced away from him out into left field. So Alex Yoslin steps in as the Colonels get a base runner there by virtue of the mistake. And we'll see if they can plate another run here in the 6th. First pitch from Cox misses outside. Looked like a breaking pitch. Yoslin will step back in there. But before he does, they chase Williams back to first by throwing over. Yoslin flied out to center, lined out to center, and grounded out to second in this one. As that pitch misses low and inside for ball number 2. The catcher, Sam Russell, waits on deck. And the next pitch from Cox missed outside. Count goes to 3-0 now. Cass leading Rockmart 10-2 as they bat in the top of the 6th. Our next broadcast will be from Cass High School on Monday and from Adairsville High School on Wednesday of next week as the Colonels play a home-and-home series with the county rival Tigers. We hope you'll join us if you do not join us at the ballpark. We'd rather have you at the ballpark, but if not there, then you can join us on Play On for Cass Baseball presented by Pepsi. Next pitch is hit up the middle. Baldwin fields that one cleanly, steps on the bag, throws to first, and it's a double play. So Baldwin fielded that one cleanly, throws on to Hembry at first, and quickly there are 2 outs in the inning as the Cass catcher, Sam Russell, will step to the plate. He made a really nice play over next to the Rockmart dugout last half inning while the Colonels were in the field, catching that foul pop-up. Hunter Southern made a nice play earlier as well. Little swinging bunt. The catcher fields, throws to first, but not in time, and that's going to be a hit for catcher Sam Russell. Little swinging bunt results in a single for Sam Russell. And if I'm not mistaken, that's 3 hits on the night for Russell. And that will bring up the Colonel's third baseman tonight, getting his first start of the year over at third, Hunter Southern. Yeah, I have Russell 3 for 4 in this one. As Southern steps back in now, he sees a fastball over the outside corner. So an 0-2 pitch upcoming now to the Cass third baseman. And he takes that one for a ball. Curveball is swung on and missed for strike number 3. So the Colonels failed to score in the top half of the 6th, and we will move to the bottom of the 6th inning with Cass now leading Rockmart by a score of 10-2.
Con los terroristas.
They do the Harlem Shake.
Okay, Charles Wilson along with cameraman Alec Barrena back at Rockmart High School, where the Colonels are leading Rockmart by a score of 10-2. We have a pitching change now for the Colonels as Chaz Wilson is done on the mound for the night. He will move over to first base. The new pitcher will be Chris Morton. And I'm not sure who's out in right field. Hard for us to tell from this vantage point. A couple of substitutions for Rockmart coming up as well. Wilson has moved over to first. That is not Dylan Williams in right field. Hard for me to tell who's out there. We think it may be Caleb Black. So Chris Morton was ready to go, but the umpire was not. Had not given the sign to fire the first pitch yet. And that will delay the beginning of the inning here, but now Morton delivers his first pitch for a ball. And we have a pinch hitter there as well as Grayson Carter at the plate. Stand corrected. That is not Carter. That is Goins. So as I work with the scorebook here, trying to get the batting order straightened out, the count has gone to 3-1. And that is 2 strikes. Catcher Sam Russell fired down to third as though it was the 3rd strike, but it's only 2. So that is Caleb Black out in right field for the Colonels as Chris Morton strikes out Goins. So Morton, the left-handed sophomore pitcher, on in relief for Chaz Wilson, strikes out the first batter he faces. And that will bring up Will Deems, the left fielder, who takes a ball. Looks like Noah Sims is in at third base for the Colonels as well. Next pitch is swung on and missed. So the count's at 1-2, and that one missed away for a ball. So the count's at 2-2. Morton's next pitch is low. So a full count to Will Deems, the Jackets left fielder. And there is a swing and a miss for strike number 3. So 2 quick strikeouts by Morton. 2 down in the inning, and that brings up the third baseman, Chet Miller. Miller reached on an error, his first at-bat, and then struck out swinging. Both of those at-bats versus Chaz Wilson. We'll see how he'll fare with Morton, who missed high with the first pitch for a ball. Next one missed inside. So Miller, the number 8 hitter in the order, steps back in there with a 2-0 count. And Morton's pitch, they say, is low for a ball, 3-0. Cass leading at 10-2 as Rockmart bats in the home half of the 6th. Chris Morton in here in the 6th inning on in relief of Chaz Wilson, who pitched the first 5. And there's the first walk from Morton. And that will bring up the number 9 hitter and right fielder, Marquise Smith. So Morton now will work from the stretch. And his first pitch is swung on and missed. Oh, 1 delivery from Morton is a curveball. Slow curve that fooled Smith. He was way out in front. And now Morton's ahead 0-2. And another curveball again fooled Smith, and that is strike number 3, and will retire the Jackets in their half of the 6th inning. So there was a walk in the inning and a runner left, but no runs and no damage otherwise for the Colonels. We've now played 6 complete innings, and the Colonels lead Rockmart by a score of 10-2. Okay, it looks like we will see another pitcher for Rockmart here. Number 13 is into the game on the mound. That is Myers, Denver Myers, right-handed pitcher. He's taking his warm-up tosses. Colonels leading it here by a score of 10-2. They're batting, or about to bat, in the top half of the 7th. Cass with 3 runs in the first, 6 in the 4th inning, and they added a run in their at-bats in the 5th. Rockmart scored their 2 runs in the 2nd inning. Chaz Wilson was the starting pitcher for the Colonels. He went 5 innings complete and was relieved last half inning by sophomore Chris Morton, who quickly retired the Jackets. And now Cass will bat here in the top of the, what we hope will be the final inning, the top of the 7th. Austin Gore steps in for the Colonels and takes a changeup high for a ball. Chris Morton, who is now in there as pitcher, waits on deck. And a little curveball there from the pitcher, Myers, is called a strike. Myers toes the rubber, takes his sign, and winds, and missed high for a ball. The next pitch missed up and in, so it's gone 3-1 now to the Cass DH tonight, Austin Gore, senior right-handed hitter. Myers winds, and they call that a strike at the knees. So Gore will step back in there and face a 3-2 pitch. and he popped it straight up in the infield. Shortstop Baldwin is underneath it. He makes the catch, and that's the first out of the inning. So Chris Morton, who started the game out in right field and last inning took the mound, and I presume will be on the mound again in the bottom half of this inning. Hitting in the 9 spot, he steps in to face Denver Myers, who just came in this half inning to pitch for the Yellow Jackets. Slow curveball missed high. Morton has a single. He also struck out and was hit by a pitch. And another curveball is in there at the knees. Looks like the Colonel hitters will see a lot of breaking pitches from Myers. Now another slow one is fouled off at the plate. So the count is now 1-2. Glad you could join us for Colonel's Baseball on Play On Sports and the GHSA.TV network. Cass Baseball 2013 being presented by Pepsi. And we welcome a new sponsor tonight, Liberty Tax Service. Another slow breaking pitch bounced up there. So I believe the count is now 2-2 with 1 out in the inning, as Morton stands back in. Another slow breaking ball, fouled away at the plate. So Morton will step back in there. And the 2-2 pitch missed high for ball number 3. So the count has gone full to the Colonel's relief pitcher. And the right-handed hitting sophomore steps back in and takes strike number 3. So 2 outs in the inning, but the Colonels are back to the top of the order. And center fielder Brandon Etheridge. Etheridge has 3 singles in this one. 2 to right field, 1 to center field. He also grounded out once. And the first pitch he sees from Myers misses high. Sam Ayers is on deck if Etheridge can reach. And the pitch to Etheridge is low for a ball. So a 2-0 offering to Brandon Etheridge sells high and wide. And the count goes to 3-0. We'll see if Coach Adam Williams green lights his junior center fielder on this 3-0 offering. Denver Myers gets his sign and delivers high for ball 4. So Etheridge walks, and that will bring up the Colonel's shortstop, Sam Ayers. Ayers has walked, reached on an error, and flied out twice. And the first pitch is hit into the air, into left center field, and deep, and off the wall. So Etheridge is going to score all the way from first on a long double by Sam Ayers. Thought that might have had a chance to get out of here, but it hit right at the base of the wall. So Sam Ayers with the RBI double on a very well hit ball. It hit right at the base of the right center field or left center field fence. And that scored Etheridge, who runs well all the way from first. And the Colonels now lead it 11-2 with Chaz Wilson stepping to the plate. And he sees a changeup that missed low and inside. So Wilson has a hit, a walk, has grounded out and struck out on the evening. And he sees the next pitch outside for a ball, number 2. So Denver Myers, working now from the stretch, throws another changeup or breaking ball, not sure from this vantage point, but it's called a strike at the knees. And the count to Wilson is now 2-1. And Wilson nailed it into left field. And it looks like that will score Sam Ayers from second base, and it does. So Wilson has an RBI single. And that drives in Sam Ayers from second base for the Colonels' 12th run. And they lead it 12-2 as they continue to hit here in the top of the 7th. That's now 2 more runs for the Colonels in this frame. Caleb Black steps to the plate for the Colonels. He's in there now for Dylan Williams and playing out in right field. First pitch he sees is called a strike. The next one bounces up there, but Wilson stays at first. And Black steps back in there and takes low for another ball. So the count has gone to 2-1. Again, our next broadcast will be Monday from Cass as the Colonels host Adairsville. Next pitch is a slow breaking ball. Caleb Black was way out in front, swung on and missed. And the count is now at 2-2. Chaz Wilson, who just drove in a run, takes his lead down at first. And another curveball almost hit Black and missed inside, and the count goes full. So Wilson with 2 outs and a 3-2 pitch. Once Myers begins his delivery to the plate, should be off and running. And he is, and the ball's hit in the air, but foul. So we'll try it again. So Caleb Black steps back in there, his first at bat of the evening, in there pinch hitting now for Dylan Williams, and he hits a shot out toward left field, but right at the left fielder for out number 3. So Deems reels that one in, but not before the Colonels score a couple of runs on 2 more hits. They leave a runner, but after 6.5 innings of play, the Cass Colonels lead the Rockmart Yellow Jackets 12-2.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love was made for me and you.
Okay, Chris Morton will take the mound here in the bottom half of the 7th inning for the Colonels. Rockmart will send the top of their order, Fennell, Baldwin, and Smith to the plate, with Cass leading at 12-2, moving here to the last half of the 7th. Trent Fennell, the center fielder, he's made a couple of nice running catches out there tonight. He takes the first pitch from Chris Morton low for a ball. Glad you could join us for Cass Baseball presented by Pepsi on Play on Sports. Next pitch from Morton is low again for a ball, 2-0. As we mentioned, Baldwin on deck, the shortstop, and then the DH Smith will also come to the plate in this half of the 7th. Another pitch from Morton is low. So the sophomore left-hander will need to battle back here. He's gone 3-0 against the leadoff hitter, Fennell. There's a strike at the knees over the inside corner. So now we'll see a 3-1 pitch. And it missed outside for a ball. So a walk to Fennell brings up Alex Baldwin, the shortstop. Baldwin has struck out swinging and flied out versus Wilson. He also grounded into a double play. So he steps in 0 for 3 in this one. But Morton misses again for a ball. So the southpaw cruised through the bottom of the 6th and now having a little difficulty finding the plate. But he comes back with a strike there. And the count is now even at 1-1. Fennell leads from first. Chaz Wilson now over at first base, holding the runner. And a fastball from Morton sails high. So a 2-1 pitch upcoming to Baldwin, and it is low in the dirt for ball number 3. So not exactly what pitching coach Kyle Clayton wants here, or head coach Adam Williams. But some good work here, a good opportunity for Morton. And he fires a fastball right through there for a called strike 2. So again, with Fennell leading, Morton's pitch is hit on the ground out towards second base, flipped over to short, airs, relays to Wilson at first for the ground ball, 4-6-3 double play. So just what every pitcher loves to get. A ground ball double play. So that goes 4-6-3 on the putout. The twin killing, and that will bring up Caden Smith, the designated hitter. He has struck out, flied out, and grounded out 0 for 3. And he takes a fastball inside for a ball. Next pitch from Morton is a curveball that bounced, and I'm not sure if the batter swung or not, but the first base umpire says no, he held up. He at least started his swing, but the count is now 2-0. That missed inside and low. So again, Morton is behind 3-0. He toes the rubber and takes his sign from his catcher, Sam Russell. And the pitch is low for ball 4. So a couple of walks here in the inning. The Colonels did turn a 4-6-3 double play to erase that first base runner. But now Smith stands at first with Luke Hembry stepping to the plate, the Jackets' first baseman. Hembry has walked, singled, and flied out. So 1 for 2 in this one as he steps to the plate and sees ball 1. Next pitch is popped in the air and missed out there by the Cass second baseman, Caleb Black, who apparently was fooled to start with, and then when he got back there, he was unable to field the pop-up. So a Cass error there allows another base runner. And that brings Graham to the plate, and he fouls the first pitch back. Next pitch is hit on the ground out into left field. And that's going to score a Rockmart run. So Graham lines a single out into left field. Smith scoring on the play. Hembry did hold at second. So Graham drives in a run, and the score is now 12-3. With Dalton Goins at the plate now, the second baseman. First pitch is swung on and missed for strike number 1. 2 outs in the inning, runners at first and second. The Rockmart Yellow Jackets bat in their half of the 7th inning, Cass with a 9-run lead, and the pitch from Morton is high for a ball. Next pitch from Morton also is high, and the count is now 2-1. So the Colonels looking for that final out. Rockmart refusing to go quietly. And they've got the runner held up. They picked him off down. Oh, and he got in there. The tag was not applied down at third, or was at least applied late. They had him picked off, and the throw was there in plenty of time, but we didn't get the tag down. So Hembry steals third. Stolen base. Next one is fouled off for strike number 2. So Goins will step back in there for a 2-2 offering from Chris Morton with runners on the corners. 2 outs in the inning. And the left-hander deals a curveball, swung on and missed. There's strike number 3. And the Colonels will win this one by a final score of 12-3. Rockmart picked up a run on a hit. There was an error in the inning. And our final score will be Cass 12 and Rockmart 3. We'll be back to talk about some totals after we take this time out.
Con los terroristas.
And do the Harlem Shake.
Okay, your final score, the Cass Colonels even their season mark at 4-4 on the year. They snap a 4-game losing streak by defeating the Rockmart Yellow Jackets here tonight by a final score of 12-3. The Colonels, after winning their first 3 games of the year, then dropped 4 straight before snapping that losing streak here tonight. They'll have the weekend off, and they will come back on Monday for a home game when they face the Adairsville Tigers. It should be a 5:30 start from the Cass Athletic Complex, and then they will have a rematch with Adairsville next Wednesday up at Adairsville. We plan to do broadcast of both of those games as well. So, again, congratulations to the Colonels. A nice win tonight. They are able to even their season record at 4-4. We want to thank our sponsors, both Pepsi and Liberty Tax Service, for helping us present you Cass Baseball for the 2013 season here on Play On. And we want to thank you for joining us again here tonight. One more time, we'll run that score back up there for you. Your final score, the Cass Colonels 12 and the Rockmart Yellow Jackets 3. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Play On Sports.